Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Now, these were installed by somebody else. Actually, it should go that way, shouldn't I? They were installed by someone else, and I'm having to try and sort them out. It's going to be a task. So, just pulled them together with a ratchet strap there. I can't really do a lot with those, but I'll show you where they go in this corner over here. Tucked away in this little bit, we've got these two panels. So we're trapped in a corner, and we've got four core 150s and the FP 600s, I think. So they come, one from that way comes in to each one, and then one of those, that one and that one, up over the top and down into these two panels. I'm not happy with this, and I'll tell you the reason. Those, let's have a look. So those are threaded, so that you've got to have those absolutely bang on. Now from here, you've got to get two 4-core one, well, one in there like that, and then one comes in and goes around the bottom into there. So that one is obviously going to be okay. This one is going to be a very, very severe bum, kick and in. And when you've got a threaded tapped entry into your lug, into your bar, bus bar, got told off for saying buzz bar on the last video. If the bolt isn't lined up exactly, you can cause some damage. So I never like doing that, but never mind. However, look at this. This is what this idiot wrote. Oh. Input. Why did I write that? Input. What sort of school did I went at? We spoke proper England at the school I went at too. Anyway, that pales in comparison to this. Not that I don't do this a lot, and I think it's better to help people than to point out their flaws and failures. But there've been two lads on this job, and they weren't cable jointers. They certainly weren't electricians. I don't know what they were, but they weren't very good. So there's a multitude of things that they've done wrong. I will show you some as the video progresses, but this is a piece of je ne sais quoi. It is the bit extra. So they've got the two cables in. Now, as you can see, one comes in at a very dramatic angle, and the other one comes in like this. Now that's not what I want to show you. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This is what I want to show you. So they've marked the holes that they needed, and they've drilled them. They've taken the gland plate off to drill the holes. And they put the gland plate back on. It's upside down. That's the gasket that should be on the bottom side to stop any dust getting inside the panel. So they put the gland plate on the wrong way around when they've drilled it and put it back together. What on earth? So I've got to sort it all out. I'm not taking them out. Unless I get requested to. I'm not taking them out off my own back. If there is a request, we'll have to look at it and get them moved, and well, I don't really fancy doing that. So this is my charge today, and probably some of tomorrow, is to get those up, in, terminated. The lads did it next door, so it is possible. I can't say it's not possible because they have done it. We'll just have to have a look-see and see if we can get somewhere with it. Fingers crossed. See in a bit. Now what we've got with the cables is some of them when the lads have been doing them in the other rooms, some of them have been a 63S because they're FP, and some of them have been a 50. Now obviously if they're a 50, there's less room that they take up in a glam plate. So when earlier on this morning Andy came in, the supervisor, and went, to be honest with you, these all feel like the same size, so you're alright, you don't have to put different size glands on them. Unfortunately for me, the size that they are is a 63. So they're all the same size, yeah, but they're all 63 mils. So that's knocked my ease of the job up, because I'm going to take up more room in the glam plate now. Never mind. Fortunately, they're a little bit easier to terminate, 63 FPs, because the copper's a little bit more malleable. Did I show you the amount of ratchet straps I've got on this? This is just to get them the same. So I've got one on there, which is pulling this cable back. I've got one, can you see it, round the side, because I'm pulling that cable down. I've got one up there, pulling them all together, so they're all more or less the same. And I've got the chain block there, because I'm pulling the slack in that way to straighten the cable up, because what it did just leave there, go straight up into the air and come back down. So we want them sort of all the same in this area. So we might be able to get a piece of rack or tray or something up there. So I've got 4 ratchet straps. I've only brought 4 with me this week. I haven't got no extras. That's nice, isn't it? Look at this. Isn't this a nice afternoon, look? And look at my view. This is quite pretty. I've just come out onto the roof terrace. I've come out onto the roof of the job, and I've just looked up there and I thought, well, that's quite nice. I'll show you it now. So there we go. Look, well, so we start over here. So there's like a bit of a historic churchy building over there, and then if we pan round, so we move back. Oh, look at my camera skills, absolutely amazing. So then there's another church just there, or some sort of building anyway. But then if we zoom in, look at what I'm right next to. Edinburgh Castle. I have to be careful how I move the camera now, because it's very sensitive. Look at all those chimney pots. And there's Edinburgh Castle. There's also the building that looks like the emoji. See if you can see that. I don't know where that is. It's over there somewhere. So there it is, off in the distance. Let's see if we can zoom in. Hello. Looks like a big jobby. But there was a big thing about that. But obviously the architects spent a bloody fortune on it, and it just looks like a big chod. So sorry about the movement, but there you go. There's that building as well. I don't know. I think it's a hotel, I'll be honest with you. There we go. We're losing the light now. The dying of the light. But pretty nice. That street behind me. Lovely big old houses then, aren't they? I do like them. I wouldn't like to think I was living on the top, because they've converted lots of them into flats now. I wouldn't like to think I was living on the top floor. You know, to walk up 6 flights of stairs or whatever it is. No thanks. An issue has developed. Big Bird, I was using them to cut a 4-core 150. Easy, not a problem. As I'm cutting, I'm going, I can smell burning. And as I looked out the corner of my eye, I saw a spark. So I thought, oh, that's not good. So stripped it down, took it to bits, and the motor that powers the hydraulic pump through planetary gears, which I quite like. I quite like planetary gears. It was a little bit loose. I thought, oh, nice one. So I tightened. There was some Allen bolts, tightened them up, put it back together again, pressed it. It worked, brilliant. It closed, excellent. Put it on the cable to try and close it, no pressure whatsoever. Ah, no. Devastated. So what do? So took it apart again, had a little bit of a mess around with it, and then I've put it back together and it works. It's just cut a piece of 4-core 150, but the smell's back. So when it wasn't cutting, there was no smell because of the pressure and whatever. There's no pressure, so the motor obviously wasn't straining. Now I've put it back together and there is pressure. It does cut through, but the smell's back. So I think I need to order a new motor. Where would I get one of those from? Because you can guarantee Chambray it'll be, oh, we can't send you it out. You've got to send it to us. It'll take 6 months to fix. So then I've either got to buy a new one or I've got to rent one for 6 months, which is about 200 quid a week. So we'll have to hopefully try and find one on eBay or one that's breaking for parts. I do have a spare Chambray tool in the shed. However, I don't know whether the motor is the same as that one. So today, I'm gone well, really. Mondays. Rubbish. It's mornings like these that you don't want to get out of bed. Van life does have its conveniences, but it also has its downsides. One of the downsides being is it's winter time now and it is getting chilly on a morning. The upside is that the time I've been talking to you, I'm almost at work, which is there. So that's the upside, but yeah, it's chilly. I had to fix the diesel heater this morning because I put it on last night and it was pumping exhaust smoke back into the back into the cab. So that was not ideal. So I had to turn it off, and it was obviously cold. So hopefully it's fixed and it works tonight. Right, this is where I find myself stuck in a corner. I've got to get 2 of those cables into the cubicle on the left and 2 into the cubicle on the right. How I'm going to do this at the moment is alien to me. So I'm going to try and move some stuff about and see what I can achieve. They're on the wrong side of each other, they would be, wouldn't they? Right, so I've got chain block rigged up onto the, remember the input, remember that? Why I wrote that, I'll never know. Right, that's not working because it's not pulling it from the point that I want it. That's awkward. Right, let's have a look there. Might have been wide. Let's see what happens. and there. So basically, I had a small ratchet strap around all three of them to sort of keep them together for a measure, but it doesn't seem to work. See what happens now. Yeah, it's going up, but it's moving it right up. Right, that's not what I wanted. Basically, I do need them in that sequence, so I'll have to get back and put the ratchet strap back on. Oh, it just makes life a little bit more difficult, that's all. We'll steal a ratchet strap as well now. Right, what I'm going to try and do is pull the cable over to where I need it, roughly, and then try and get it measured and get a cut on it and get a gland on it. But unfortunately what's happening is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables above me that cover the space, so the cable comes in and sets over like that. Which just makes life a bit more awkward, doesn't it, really? It doesn't go straight, which is awkward. Never mind. That's really tough. It still needs to go over another foot, and I can't get it. I'll show you why. Right. It's going in that one, right? And it's there. But those cables are stopping it from being able to move across. Now, we'll just move the cables over. I can't move the cables over because that cable there, which is, I think it's a 185, sits directly on top of that cable there. And there it is again, you can see it. So it's that's the one that sits, it's like right on top. I can't move it. It just will not go any higher because of when they've landed it here, it was too short. So what it does is it leans dramatically. Hang on, let's take this off. So it should be sort of straight with this one coming down, but it doesn't. It comes from there straight across because they cut it short. Now I'm stuck. And I don't know what to do, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get that across to there. Right, what I might be able to do is lift that one on top of that one and move them over. I might get a little bit on that, and then I might be able to move the other ones across. But that is the only option I've got, because of, there's that cable, look, let's see if you can see it. I'll come back here. So there, and away over there, but it sits right on top, and there's no way, there's absolutely nothing on it, because it goes in too tight. This is going to be awkward. Had to take my top off, I'm getting warm. There's been a development. Now, I couldn't pull that cable across anymore, just impossible. There was too much going on up there to get it across. It was another foot that I needed to move it across. And there was no chance that, obviously it's been a 4-core 150, it can't go sort of, come through the hole, go over like that and then down. It's just too big. And if it comes in, sort of comes in like that and sweeps across, it cuts the other cable off from coming through. So Dean, the cable ganger, that's why he's the cable ganger, because he's very, very clever, has said if you can make a gap in the cables, which I've done, he can pull the cable out up into here, right, in that space, and then we'll take it through the gap, which goes straighter into the hole. See, that's why he's the cable ganger, because he's clever and he comes up with ideas like that. So I'm going to go and find him now, and we're going to pull the cable out, I hope, and then pull it back in, and then I should be able to gland it, lift it, terminate it without too much fuss. See if we can see that. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Remember, they're only daft cables. I'll let them be. They might be daft cables, but the daft racking provides a bit of a barrier to get to the daft cables. They've been in jail. theory, this should now just drop nicely. Nice. Golly gosh, oh me oh my. Cable gang, who needs a cable gang? So let's just see what actually happened. So cable came through that hole and it had to get across to more or less where it is now. So let's come out a bit. So from there coming across over to there it just wasn't feasible. Although me looking at it now, it looks like I've done all that for nothing, but I physically couldn't get those cables across. It just wasn't working, I just couldn't do it. So now that makes my life so much easier, like mega easy. And then what I've got to do is this one comes in with it, goes into that hole, but then it comes down and loops around in the bottom. So that's going to be the easy one to terminate. The difficult one is going to be this one, which goes into there. So fingers crossed, not that I can cross my fingers anymore due to, well, I don't know, old age, arthritis, I don't know what it is. But I'm hoping that I can get those in, because like I said last week, was it last week or was it this week? About the thread, no, it was this week because I wasn't doing these last week, was it? The threaded bolt tapped entry, you've got to get the bolt absolutely dead knacker, and you know what I mean, you ain't got a lot of room at the back. That's the wiggle room. Ooh, where did you learn to do that? Right, and that's the first one in. So up, comes out to my green top there, up and over and down and in. I'm just going to leave it like that because quite frankly can't be bothered. So hopefully the electricity can jump across to the terminals. I've got that one. Let's have a look. That one there comes in next, and then that's got to go right the way down, round and up. So that's next. But I'm going to go and get some lugs and I'm going to go and get a drink because I'm thirsty as one of them kids on the telly with the flies all over their faces that Rob Geldof raised money for back in the 80s. Right, the lighting here is absolutely terrible, but got the chain block rigged up onto the rung through there. We've got a tie onto the cable. So I propose to take the cable through and into that area there, enough so I can get the nose up and onto that. So we'll see how that pans out. Go next door and see if I can manoeuvre the cable a little bit. Right, not be long. I thought that was going to be easier than what it was. Yeah. It needs to be pulled from a different angle. So it pulls it up in that direction. Can I do it manually? Just got No, and nothing to push from. Oh man. There's loads of room. Right, hang on a minute. Too hot now. So I'll put this around the cable now to pull it in that direction, and then I still need a little bit through. As you can see, it's not quite all the way through yet. We'll put that about there, I think. Let's have a see. I need to go next door and pull what it is. The cable will be sort of doing that next door. It'll be rising up, not up back on the street, but off of the rack. There's another song. Rising up off of the rack, making my life a pain in the ass. So I need that pushing down. I also need, I wonder if the little one can manage that. Let's have a look. This is going to roll my hat back. Yes, it is. Knew that was going to happen. The camera stood next to the hat. There we go. I can't quite see it the same. Can I bring it forward a little bit? Let's have a look. It's somewhere near. Right, let's have a look. This on, and we'll pull it back towards the rack and see if that moves it a little bit. It's bending the bar out. That's handy. Right, I've got to go next door and sort of tie this through and get it into position. I need to take these off because it won't move it won't move if they're on. It won't move at all. So I won't take them all the way off, I'll just loosen them for now. There we go. Right, let's have a look. As you can see, it's down now, but bulges out slightly. Let's see if I can show you what I've done through here. So you can see there's two sort of wires, armour wires tied round, pulling it down to the rack, and then it slightly bulges out. My goal now is to pull it back across and back in using those two ratchet straps, and get some ties on it. So let's see how that transpires. So that's pretty straight. Now just need to get it back towards the rack. Now what I'm going to have to do is put a temporary tie on this, because I need to reset that to get it back exactly where I want it. And they're over there. 2 seconds. Right then. I need to decide. I've only got 3 rungs to choose from. So there's this bottom one. There's one where all of the ratchets are around, and then there's the top one. So if I go around here, well, I can't go around there, so I'll have to go on the top one. And hopefully it doesn't spring out too far. Obviously you can't see this. So there we go. Right, I've got that on now. Keep an eye on this and see if it moves this way. Oh, good, wasn't too bad. That was it. It did move a little bit, but not a great deal, which is good. That's what we want. Reset it. Oh, remove the temporary tie so it's got somewhere to go. There we go. So loosen that off, and then when I pull this back, what it's going to want to do is it'll push an ever so slight loop up at the top, but that's okay because that's what we want. Right, I can get a allotment on there now. That's even better. Does it want to come over one? Click, what's that right now? Go back again. Not too bad. Let's have a look at some tie-ups. See, I can't put one around here yet, which is where I really want to put it, because I'm going to tie the ratchet strap in place, which is somewhat frustrating. I'm not going to put it on mega tight. Just take that off. Now there was a little bit of movement, but not a lot. That's a good sign. And, oh, well, I've trapped it, but not significantly. So, well, it still pulls through. I don't think it's touching that one, so I'll put this in, I'll put a screwdriver in, and I'm going to force it over slightly and give it a tighten up. Now then, the proof is in the pudding of the eating of the thing of the, well, that didn't move at all. Absolutely splendid. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. It is a little bit. Could I have another pull back on it? Let's see. Now that the tie-up's actually on, let's have a go. is going because the tie wrap's getting looser, as you could hear there. So I'm happy with that. It did spring a little bit. But if a tie wrap's holding it in place, there's not that much tension on it. That'll do. That'll do the O. Right, this is what I've been busy with yesterday and today. So the eagle-eyed of you may be able to see it, but I'm going to show you it. Now then, L3, L2, L1. We go to this side, we've got L1, L2, L3. The reason for that is because that's how the cable fell, and it was easy to do that. And the reason for not crossing them and going, see, this cable fell like that. Look, the one's there, two's there, three's there. It's easy to do it in that formation. And the reason that you try not to put extra undue stress on these connections is because it's a threaded copper plate, right, that you connect onto. Now, this one, as you can see, tie wrap's holding it in, and there's no undue stress on the cable, on the undue stress from the cable onto the connection. However, that is a steel bolt. Put it through onto the copper thread, turned it. I thought, oh, that's got it. As soon as I went like that, it's twisted, so it's threaded. So what we need to do is we need to get a 10mm tap, try and re-tap it, and hopefully get that in, because you can't really put a nut on the back because of its proximity. Look, that's a finger, that's all it is. So if you put a nut on there, that is very, very close to that steel plate. So it's not a great design. So, what's your name? Telegon. Stop doing it. Stop making them. Do this sort of thing. See how they've done that? They've got a bolt head at the back, and they've set. They've set the copper bar. So from here, set your copper bar out. You can get them in. Make your enclosures a little bit bigger. And that's what you need to do, because cables of this size in a 400 amp switch, there's not enough room. And I think it's dangerous. I've got the rest of them in, again, with undue stress on the connections. But that one, even with the undue stress, the bolt might have went in at a very, very slight angle like that, and it's just rolled the copper thread. So now what I've got to do is bring the earths in, like I have there. They come down, they're going to come through, round, and there's going to be, I'm going to drill a hole in here and connect them onto that. Do the same with those ones. So they're going to come down the cables, they're going to sweep off into this area where the impactor is, come down, and then they're going to come across the bottom and onto a bolt that I'm going to drill, which I've got to go and get in a minute from down in the stores. And the only thing with that is I'm on the 4th floor, so I'm going to walk all the way down and all the way back up, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, but that's what you've got to do. And then tomorrow, well, maybe the rest of today and tomorrow is this. I've got to tackle all of these 25, 35 and 50 mils.